I studied from a tier 3 college in Kanpur, and after asking almost 50 friends for a job referral, one of them referred me, and when I reached the interview room, all that mattered was my college name.
57% of learners from tier 3 colleges are highly employable because of strong capabilities in critical thinking and analytical skills. But in reality, the employability rate of tier 3 colleges is just 43%. If they are employable but still not getting employed, what is the real problem? Does it mean your grades and skills don't really count if you are from tier 3 college? Are high-paying jobs reserved only for tier 1 graduates? I am Sakshi Bhayana and welcome to the final round. To answer all your doubts in just 3 problems. One is underconfidence because society is judging you. Second one is poor placements, and the third one is lack of right skill set due to an outdated curriculum. Today, I will tell you strategies from scratch so that you can tackle these problems yourself and get a high-paying jobs even in a tier 3 college. Before we dive deep into these 3 problems and their solutions, I want you all to understand quickly what is tier system for these colleges and how can you check in which category your college falls. Technically, colleges are categorized by Ministry of Education on the basis of 5 parameters. Firstly is faculty quality and infrastructure. Second is research opportunities. Third is placements and average salary. Fourth is diversity in students in terms of religion, caste, economic status. Fifth one is reputation of your college among employers, alumni, etc. etc. Now here's the harsh truth. Most tier 3 colleges fail to meet even 2 or 3 of these criteria out of 5. Some of them have decent classrooms but poor placements. Others might have a good faculty member but lack research exposure or industry connections. But there are some colleges that are quietly breaking this mold, and Marwari University is one of them. It stands out because they have strong internship programs, continuous faculty development, dedicated placement support, encouragement of research and innovation. Honestly, on paper, many colleges claim to bridge the gap between tier 3 and tier 1. But only very few do this in practice, and Marwari University did this exactly because they have earned NBA accreditation, a recognition by Ministry of Education only when a college truly meets national standards of education, comes out with good employability rate as well. Now let's talk about these 3 major problems that tier 3 students face and of course their solutions. Underconfidence. Most tier 3 students face the problem of underconfidence, but it's not their fault. How will someone not feel underconfident or doubtful when pados wali auntie says, आपके बेटे का तो बड़े कॉलेज में एडमिशन नहीं हुआ, अब तो करियर खराब है जी. When your school ones silently sideline you and you obviously feel inferior because your college is not reputed. When your employers judge you, you are not skilled enough or have expertise because you don't come from a reputed university. When the applicant tracking system rejects your resume because college name is not famous. When you have cleared all 8 technical rounds but the HR tells you, we don't hire from tier 3 colleges. It's definitely sad, but obviously makes someone underconfident too. We cannot change the perception of people, but what we can change is, of course, the course of career. So what should we do? Find a mentor. When you are underconfident, the fastest way to break that mindset is borrow belief from someone who has walked the same path and made it out successfully. This is exactly where mentors come in. Now comes the most difficult part. How to get a mentor? Honestly, you don't need to DM 100 random people. Instead, I will tell you a 2-step formula. Just do it step by step and you will get replies from at least 1 to 2 solid people. Step 1, go to LinkedIn search bar, type your college name, find out the job title. For example, Marwari University Software Engineer. And then click on the filter, select people. Now you're seeing the seniors from your college who made it. These are your best bet because they have already been in your shoes. Step 2. Once you find the right person, then don't directly say, please mentor me. That puts a lot of pressure on him or her. Instead, just describe yourself in a line, then tell specifically how and what guidance do you want from them. This way, you are polite and specific, and also you're not asking for mentorship, but you're starting a conversation. That's how real mentorship begins. Now, if you have a doubt that you really need a mentor and not, then this will help you. There is a concept called social learning theory. It says that we easily learn new behaviors by just watching others. Applying this to your situation, if you observe someone successful from your background, then your brain activates the same neural patterns. This reduces your fear, increases your belief that if they did it, so can I. Also, when someone more experienced validates your effort or gives you feedback, it reshapes how you see yourself. This tiny external validation begins and erases years of your internal doubt. Now you know the two-step formula to get replies from your future mentor and also the importance of a mentor. One last thing, I would personally suggest once they reply, don't ask, how can I become like you? Instead, ask questions like, what mistakes did they avoid? Which skills gave them a little extra edge? What they wish they had done sooner? Or after that, just stay in touch. Update them monthly with your progress, and this builds a long-term trust. Offline communities. Like offline communities, when we talk about, let me be real. No matter how many motivational quotes you read, it all vanishes once you sit in that interview room. To tackle underconfidence, you need real human interactions. Places where you make mistakes. Speak without fear. Stand in front of those people even when your legs are shivering. That's how you build confidence. And one of the fastest way and the most effective way is to join an offline community like Toastmasters or Meetup. Don't get scared of these fancy names. Let me explain you basically. These are communities where you find a lot of people just as you. No one will judge you. No one will be given short tasks like delivering a speech, presenting a report, anything like that. Initially, it will look a little tough, but trust me, when you start speaking in front of those people, every week your brain's fear response starts rewiring. This is called exposure therapy. And psychologists are using this in foreign countries quite a lot. So why not us? Also, when you participate and if people clap and appreciate you literally for just 5 or 6 seconds, you release dopamine. This appreciation feels like a reward for speaking up. Trust me, you won't even realize, and slowly your brain will naturally start to link confidence with expression, and you will find yourself comfortably describing things in your interview or at your job. Just search Toastmasters. Type your city name and to kickstart, attend 1 or 2 sessions for free as a guest. Personal branding. Honestly, underconfidence is just due to lack of opportunities. Once you have an ample opportunities, then you will automatically feel confident. In that case, personal branding is a tool which opens a lot of doors of opportunities. Let me tell you with an easy example. Let's say you walk into the room full of strangers. One guy is quietly sitting in a corner, another one is confidently introducing himself, sharing what he does and asking interesting questions. Who will you remember? Obviously, the second guy. Now that's what personal branding does for you. It makes people remember you even before they meet you. Now, I'm not saying you need to start handing out visiting cards or become an influencer overnight. All you have to do is just make yourself known inside the right circles. First, fix your online profile on LinkedIn or Twitter. Add a clear photo with no filters. Write a short headline telling degrees and skills. Something like BTech, CSE, learning web development, open to internships. Write a simple about section mentioning about your learning, what you want, what are you looking for, what are you headed to. So many details about you, but in short. Guys, this is a digital identity. Recruiters literally type your name, Google you, and that's the first thing they do just to fix it. So increase your visibility, Pick your niche like data science, marketing, finance, or anything that you like. Then document your learning by writing a short post once a week. Something like, this week I learned about XYZ, here's what confused me or how I finally understood it. When you constantly talk about your domain, then connections begin to associate with you. And that's how you build relations. If someone sees a job post, your name will pop up and that's your take. Personal branding. Trust me, you will have a lot of more options. Now, second point. Poor placements. One truth is that sun rises in the east. And another one is that in most of the tier 3 colleges placement, they are either non-existent or straight up depressing. You attend a placement talk and they start with CTC's 3 LPA, but for the first 6 months, you will be paid only 10,000 as a stipend. They shortlist only 10 students and then 9 of them are rejected. One guy who is hired to say, हाँ placement तो करवाया है, non-CS students का are told it is a software company and CS students are told कि ये तो accounting firm है. In the end, no one is getting hired. This is the reality for most of the students outside tier 1 and tier 2. But here's the thing, you can afford to wait for the college to fix its placement cell. Instead, you have to create your own placement, your placement ecosystem, and of course, I will break that for you from the scratch to the top. Online peer communities. First and most important thing you can do for yourself is become a part of online peer community. These are digital spaces where job seekers, especially students and fresh graduates, share their job openings, their interview experiences, their study resources, and of course, so much more. It can be a group Discord server, LinkedIn circle, Telegram group, or maybe a Reddit page. But you will be thinking why I have said this as the first and the most important thing. Firstly, these groups give you real-time information. Someone just got a call from the company, they share it there. Someone who cracked the coding code, they share it there. They post everything about their experiences, and this is how you can also apply, because this gives you an instant learning. Secondly, you can exploit these communities to find a buddy to prepare for interviews and aptitude tests. Third, and the most essential, it is really depressing when you're sitting in your room and Googling off-campus jobs and getting nothing. These communities give you people who are trying, failing, and succeeding just like you. And it's not hard to find these. I have done work for you. Just try it and like the video if you find it useful so far. For Telegram groups, just go to the search bar and type keywords like job vacancies India, internship India, placement preparation, tech jobs in India. You will see a list of public channels and of course the groups. Look for groups with more than 10,000 members in it. For LinkedIn, type the same keywords and use groups tab to filter. For Reddit, this one is really good. Type India jobs. Meanwhile, you scroll down, find more and more jobs for you. Don't just be a silent member. Share your learnings, ask questions, contribute, discussions, and of course, this is an active participation which increases your visibility and lead to valuable connections. Spending just 20 to 30 minutes a day, these platforms can actually make a significant difference. Over time, you will build a network and improve your chances of landing a job that is so successful. Hackathons and virtual challenges. You read it, hackathons, but I read it like you get a job. This is like a secret weapon which will get you a job, and rarely anyone is willing to share a secret. A 2023 Deloitte survey revealed that 57% of the companies focus on recruiting talent through hackathons and challenges. Not just companies are willing to recruit, but it is reported that 50% of the people who attend these events secure an internship or a full-time job. But what exactly are these hackathons or virtual challenges? And if they are these much effective, then how do you enroll in these? These are online and offline competitions hosted by companies where people participate and work as a team on a project under tight deadlines. Let's say 24 to 48 hours. Just like that, a competition there, and there is a winning prize, but secretly, these companies use these marathons, these hackathons just to hire you. Generally applying for a big company and then resume might just get rejected. because of your academics, your degree, but these hackathons, they help you bypass your resume screening process, directly give you a chance to showcase your skill to the recruiters. Here's the list of top 3 websites where you can easily find these challenges. Just remember, we are not participating to win the prize, but to showcase our skill. So keep this thing in mind and focus on giving your best. We have already found a way to bypass your resume screening. There is one more trick in the book called referrals. I want you to answer me something. Assume you are working as a hiring manager and your colleague recommends you as a candidate. Would you ignore him or consider meeting him once? I would choose the second one because it helps me save my mental energy to go through all of those resumes. If you also agree, then just like us and other recruiters, think about it. Maybe this is the reason 40% of the hires are through referrals. But you are from a tier 3 college and don't have big connections, then where do you start? Seniors. Well, that is important. It is those people who have been there and cracked the interview. And now they are working in your dream company. Secondly, don't underestimate the power of your batchmates. Most of them might be unemployed, but one friend in a good company with one good referral can change things for you. And the third one is try and connect with your alumni. Every college has an alumni page. Just go through that and search for that person on LinkedIn, Indeed. There are so many platforms. Now comes the most tricky part. You can't just ask for a job posting. You have to build a connection by asking about their journey, their reason for choosing a particular role, and keep in touch. This keeps you in loop and they will refer you even without asking. Number 3, lack of skills. Let me ask you straight. Have you ever felt like you're studying hard but still don't have the right skills that company actually want? You're confused about what skills to focus on, or is it coding, digital marketing, data analysis, or maybe like something else? If you are nodding, you're not alone, because 1 in every 2 Indian is unemployable due to lack of skills. Develop skills. Your college won't ask you after you pass out whether you've got a job or not. So you need to take charge of your career and constantly upskill yourself by enrolling in courses that are outside your curriculum. Now the question arises, which skills are required in the Indian job market? These are top in-demand skills right now in India's job market, backed by the real data from LinkedIn and NASSCOM reports. Coding and software development, data analysis, digital marketing, and soft skills for sure. Now the best part is, you don't have to spend thousands on expensive courses to learn these. You can get started with free or very low-cost resources. For coding and software development, you can use free codecamp.org or Auden Project to start with data analysis. Microsoft Learn will give you free tutorials on Excel and Power BI basics. For digital marketing, you can easily find free courses on Google Digital Garage. Finance and accounting, for software skills, we have already covered. Toastmasters and other things. This is just for you to start and build a foundation. But if you are confused exactly which skill you need to excel, then next part is your answer. Reverse engineering. Now you have to play the next smart move. You don't have to reinvent the wheel or blindly guess what to do next. Instead, follow proven steps that worked for someone else, especially those who started exactly where you are. That's what we call reverse engineering, your role model's career. First, you need to find your role model. Use LinkedIn to search for seniors from your college or tier 3 colleges who are currently working in the job or industry you want to. For example, if you want to become a data analyst, search your college name plus data analyst. Analyze their profiles. Look carefully at their education, internship programs, their courses certifications, and of course their projects. See which online courses have they taken, which hackathons they participated in, and what skills have they highlighted. After this, note their timelines. How long did it take them from graduation to landing a job? Did they switch roles or industries? Did they get a mentor or participate in the communities? Once you have gathered the information, then create your own personalized roadmap. Focus on exact skills, platforms, timelines they used, but adapting it at your pace. By reverse engineering, you avoid wasting time. Also, this process naturally helps you identify more and more people, and this will help you expand your network too. So don't just admire success from afar. Study it, map it, and then walk on the path confidently. Part-time jobs or internships. Time to put last nail in the coffin. Being very honest, do as much as possible in part-time jobs or internships. Generally avoid them because they don't pay you well. Yes, it is true that they always don't pay you well, but sometimes not all of them, because you get the real experience. Think of every internship you've been at. Mini lab or practical skills, you face real challenges. Understand how industry works, you get hands-on training, build your confidence, sharp your abilities, give you stories, and of course, you tell about all this in interviews. Even if you're working on small projects or assisting in basic tasks, you are learning how these companies operate or how to work in a team and how to solve problems under pressure. These lessons cannot be learned through textbooks or lectures. Internships and part-time jobs expand your professional network. You meet people who can become your mentors, referees, even your future employers. I repeat, do as many internships and part-time jobs as much as you can. Here are some of the websites where you can find internships easily. Intershala, Angelist, Let's Intern, Chase Experience Relentlessly. Your future career will thank you. Remember, even 38% of IIT graduates remained unplaced. It's not always the tag, but also the skills you hold and expertise you display. Choosing the right college might not be your choice, but how you establish your career is purely your choice. There are numerous examples of people cracking Google, Amazon, that to be from Tier 3 college. You just need to remember that even IITians are nothing if they don't upskill themselves and wait for the opportunities to come to the campus and create an ecosystem. I would tell you, build real skills, network smartly, and importantly, believe in yourself. If you want to see how to build your network right from college, then click the video appearing on your left side. And if you like the video, then drop a like, subscribe to the final round.